Okay, today we're going to take a look at Andy on the left here in the discus throw. He's having some troubles getting his right foot underneath his right hip as it lands on the discus, and so we're going to take a look at that. I've got a couple vertical yellow lines here on the left, and I've got two on the right here with Sander Perkovic. And so let's take a look at Andy's throw. They're both in the same position right now with the right leg out about 9 o'clock, getting ready to push off. You see Andy's left arm is quite a bit higher, and at this point, Sandra Perkovic's already got hers behind her. Okay. You can see his left shoulder's not really rotating anymore, and he just kind of plants his left leg right here in a straight line. So this vertical line is representing the maximum distance that the right foot is going across the circle towards 6 o'clock. And okay, right there. Now, you guys might have seen the other video I had where at the moment the right foot pushes off, left foot pushes off in the back of the circle, the right leg should be with the thigh up. This foot should be directly underneath with a 90-degree bend almost, with the foot directly below the knee. So it would have shortened. So he's going from at the transition from a straight right leg to, at this point, as soon as that foot's off, he should already be in a bent right leg position with the higher right knee. So the turn, see, the foot does come out in front of the hip because of in the disc it's a wider circle, so you are kicking out a little bit further. In the shot put, this foot would never get past the where the knee is. Okay. So you do come out that far, but let's take a look at Sander Perkovic here. As we see her foot transition, see the knee now takes over rather than the foot, and the knee drives in around. Okay, so watch the circularity of that right knee in and around. Now look how far her right foot goes out, right there. But she doesn't drop it down like you see Andy do. She hooks it back in. Okay, and right there at the moment the left foot comes off, you can't really see here, but her right foot should be directly below the knee, because you can see right here it's just a couple of frames more, it's already down. Okay, so you can see the distance that it goes out and how much it goes and hooks back inward. Okay, and that's being driven by the knee at this point, because the leg is shortening, because here it's long and it's generating all that inertia because of the wide radius. But then as soon as the foot comes off, the right knee is bent and it hooks around. It shortens it and accelerates. Remember, you've got to have this time in the air. See, both feet are in the air right here, here, and here, and here. Drops to the right. You got to have that time in the air so that you can get the lower body ahead and keep it ahead of the upper body, which is lighter. So the longer limbs and the heavier lower body, it takes more time to get it around. So in order to do that, you have to do that while it's in the air. So let's take a look at Andy again here. He never quite gets that leg bent, does he? Maybe a little bit right there. But he doesn't hook that knee back around with the knee leading ahead of the foot. And he has this angle here from his head to his foot. And we can see how Sander Perkovic, let's see, right at her foot landing. I mean, she's here at the same angle that he has from the head to the foot. They match right now. She's still in the air though. And that's the difference, that little bit right there. Bringing that right hip around, bringing that right knee around, bringing that right foot around, hooking it back to the front. That's what gets his hip on top of the foot. You can see where Andy is. You can see how far the hip is, and it's going to be very difficult to try to rotate from that position on. Here, it's with the knee over the toes. Very simple, very easy, and the hip right over the toes, the knee pushed forward out over the toes. Very easy to turn. I'm not sure, but it looks like maybe Andy's leg might be straight here. I see him, but now it's got a nice bend to it right here. Okay, playing with the angles here, it's hard to see sometimes, but you can see how far away is the hip is from the foot. It's a little bit harder to turn. Also, what you see right here is the knee is outside of the foot, and you can see he's turning on the outside of his foot here. So what you want to do is keep that knee on top of the foot, like you see with Sandra Perkovic over here as she lands. You can't really, I guess you can't see from this direction, but the knee is over the toes. She's got this angle, and you see how the knee stays right over the foot, and she turns not on the outside of the foot, but on the inside or flat. Here you can see the foot is flat, so if you're on the outside, it's going to push you outside. It's going to be much harder to turn. You got to try to keep that knee on top of the foot or inside. Okay. Now you saw that last bit, the knee kicked back in. See, he's riding on the outside of the foot, and right here, the knee kicks in, starts driving forward. Anyway. Okay, something else we want to look at here. Right here. Do you see where the left arm is? Now, as the right leg comes around and hooks, you can see how the left arm wraps. See how they work together? Okay, here's your action reaction. Okay, now let's take a look at your left arm action here. Just as the right leg comes around. See your left arm is actually stopping here and going upward. And then the right leg's down and it hasn't moved. So if I were you, I'd keep moving this left arm back, pulling it around, and then while you're in the air, as the right foot starts hooking around, I would bring it toward, well, the wrap position, toward the right leg, so they can kind of squeeze together. That'll help keep your shoulders back too, and it helps to get the right foot hooked around and down in front. There's something else I noticed on your left shoulder here. It looked like it had stopped moving. Let's take a look at your left shoulder. Yeah, see how it's you're driving this way, but you've stopped your rotation. Now it's hard to be able to turn your hips and everything if you stop your rotation up here. See, everything, it's like you're sliding in the base here. Okay, now take a look at Sandra Perkovic here. Take a look at her left shoulder here. Okay, watch how it doesn't stop. Okay, she doesn't stop until she brings it all the way back to 12 o'clock, and then everything else is rotating around it. See that? So both her shoulders are rotating the whole time. So let's take another look at your shoulders again as you're coming in. Yeah, you've got more of a linear movement. You can see they're not really turning right here. Right about here they stop turning, and everything's, your chest and everything's driving this way. That's okay, but it can't be for maybe more than the frame. There's a little bit of linear this way toward the left sector line, or they say look for the discus netting, the left pole. But I've seen people do that, and they end up doing it too long, and they end up landing like this. They're trying to keep their body wrapped back, but you see, you can do that too, but like Sandra Perkovic does, but it's much more dynamic. She brings her arm all the way back to 12 and then wraps it back. Then you see how that brings her shoulders back, and her shoulders face more to the 3 o'clock direction here. Okay. And here you've got the same position. I don't know. The way I coach it is I try to do it like Sandra Perkovic does. I bring the left arm all the way back to 12, and then I wrap it back, just the arm. So you end up in the same position. So whatever works, right? Okay. That's the part, that's as far as I wanted to go with the videos here, because he was having trouble figuring out how to get that foot underneath him. I don't really have any drills for that, but if you at least can see it and understand, that's going to be hopefully the first step in trying to get into that position. All right, thanks.